Welcome back, beautiful people, and today is your lucky day because you've been asking for a pro bike on my Scott Gambler. So yeah, here we go. This is my Scott Gambler pro bike check. So before we get started, I love to start off with the heart of the bike, and that is the frame setup. This is the Scott Gambler. It's not the high-end one, it's the low-end one, only because I love the color. I love the purple, I love the gray, and I love the orange. And when I've got a coil shock in here, the Fox orange coil shock in there, it looks amazing with this nice graphic here. Just sets it off really well. Got my name on it, I got my birth country, where I was born, Zimbabwe on here. It says Gambler on the top tube. But there's so much that goes into this bike. It's not standard. Apart from the cranks, the handlebars and the stem, it's all about the suspension setup on this bike. And on the rear here, I've got this Fox air shock. This thing is tuned to the max. This is a 2019 rear shock. It's 200 mil of travel. It says you can run maximum 300 PSI in this shock. I've got it fully maxed out on tokens, and I'm running 300 PSI on this thing as well. There's 4 settings on this rear shock. You've got the firm compression, and you've got the high and low speed compression at the top, and then you've got the high and speed low rebound as well. What I've done, I've shut it all the way, and I've opened it 3 clicks on all 4 of these settings. So it's quite slow. It is really quite a solid rear end. It's not built for going downhill as such. It's built for these huge compressions on these massive jumps behind me. There's a lot going on there. To be honest, that is the main thing about this bike when you're riding big jumps. It's all about that rear shock. You want to have that thing quite solid. You don't want to have a real saggy bottom end. As you can see by the saddle here, my Ergon saddle, I've buzzed it quite a lot. So there's a lot going on in the suspension of this bike, and it's not standard. Enough of that, let's move to the rear. Okay, moving on to my drivetrain. Like I said, there's not much standard on this bike, but I have kept the standard cranks. This is the Truvativ Descent cranks. 165 mil in length of a crank arm, 36 tooth chainring up the front, 7-speed, and to keep my chain on my chainring up the front when I'm going through that nasty rough stuff is this E13 LG1 chain device. And I have used it because it's got a nice guard here, especially when you hit something quite low or you bottom out, you're going through a rough section, a rock garden or something. You get a rock that tends to hit your chain right at the bottom here, and I've used mine a number of times. It's kind of saved my chainring a lot, so I'm pretty thankful for that. And on the rear, there's a number of settings you got on this. Like up here, you got a chip. You can set it at a high BB or a low BB. I've got it set at the high right up the front, and on the back, you've got a short and long chainstay. I've got it set on short because I want this bike to be quite small and compact. I don't want to have quite a long bike. And I forgot to say, this is a medium-sized frame, and here's the Scott Gambler 720. So I've got SRAM GX 7-speed out the rear, and that brings me onto the wheels. A lot of other free riders out there are running 26-inch wheels still. Kind of makes that bike a lot more maneuverable in the air. I'm running 27.5s, either DT Swiss FR 950s, and what FR stands for is free ride. So these things are strong, and I love it. The rubber to keep me on the ground and keep me in control when I'm going at high speeds. So these are the Kaisers. They're a 2.4 from Continental. It's the downhill casing tire, so it's super aggressive. And this one is a well-worn tire. I really do want a well-worn tire on the back because I want to have quite a high rolling speed. I don't want to have such an aggressive tire because that kind of slows you down a little bit. So this is well-worn. It's gone through Whistler. This tire's done Darkfest. It's done a lot this time. It still looks good. Not much grip out there, but it's not all about the grip. Right, moving on to the brakes. It's a 4-pop brake. These are SRAM codes. It's an aggressive brake. It's all built for going high speed, so you can brake so they don't boil when you're going really fast. It's a 4-pop. I'm running 203 rotors, front and rear. Likewise on the front, I'm running SRAM code as well to match the rear. The hub on this bike is a DT Swiss hub, and it sounds pretty cool. Listen to this. Wow, that is a hub made from dreams. Right, much like the rear on the wheel builds, a 27.5. It's a DT Swiss FR 950 The Kaiser Continental tire up the front, a little bit more grip there. It's a little bit more fresh because I do want to have a little bit more grip up the front. Because this is where I'm kind of guiding the bike down the trail, so I need to have grip there. Same brake setup, same hub, DT Swiss as well. But then now this is where it gets a little bit more interesting because obviously my suspension setup is different. I'm running Fox 40s up front. What comes with this bike is the all black with the black stanchions. I've swapped that out. All the internals are a lot more factory. You can adjust them a lot more than a standard Fox 40 shock front end that you get with this bike. So I've gone for the Kashima coated stanchions on here, and inside you can max out. You can have a number of tokens in these forks. I've gone for 7. 7 is the max you can get. So what that means is the more tokens you get in, the more the fork will ramp up. So as soon as it starts to compress, it gets harder, quicker. It spikes quickly. And I want that because I don't want that front end to dive when I hit a big takeoff like these ones out here, which are about 5 meters tall, which is roughly about, what, 14 foot or something? Or something like that. I don't know, but obviously I don't want that to dive. And when I land, I don't want to just dive all my suspension in and lose all my speed for the next big jump coming towards me. In there, I am running 90 PSI. So it is really hard, but I don't mind that because I'm not, it's more for impact than having a nice smooth ride down a rough section, because it's not all rough here, it's really smooth. It's like riding on a pavement on big jumps. You don't want to have roughness. On my high speed and low speed compression and rebound, it's on the top. What I've done, I've wound it all the way close and I've opened it a little bit. So by, I think it's 5 or 6 clicks on both, and on my rebound, it's just a matter of seeing what's good for me. I don't want it to be really fast, but I don't want it to be really slow because I do want the suspension to come back out when I'm in the air. And when I land, I don't want it to stick in the ground whilst I'm carrying on. So I want it to come back quickly. So there's a lot going in the suspension on this. I did try a coil on the rear, didn't like it for big jumps, so I've opted for air. On the front, it says Darkfest on there because these folks have done Darkfest. This bike has taken me through biggest jumps of my life, 100-foot jumps. It's insane. Let's move up to the cockpit. Moving up to the cockpit where I keep this rig in control on those huge jumps. My bar and stem combo is a Syncros bar and stem combo, but the bars are DH 1.5. They were 800mm. I've cut them down to 760. I love that. It's a comfortable size bar for myself. Got them quite set, kind of neutral. Some people like to have quite a sweep on these bars. Some like to have quite a, quite far forward. I've got them kind of set neutral. It is well used, this bike. I tell you, it's been through the wars. It's done a lot of big jumps, a lot of free ride lines, and it has been thrown around a bit. So it's a bit scratched up, but hey, that's a sign that I'm sending it and I like it. Right, I've got a nice SRAM GX shifter to change my gears. Not that I need to change them that much. Kind of sit in the middle of my chain cassette on the back. I've got a nice SRAM code, brake levers front and rear, and then moving on to my Ergon grips. These are special because these grips, I've had these grips for a year now, maybe a year and a half. I love them because they're well used. They're fit to my hand. So I can feel like, right, that's a perfect gripped thing, even though they're like super messed up. But man, beggars can't be choosers. I don't want to switch these things out for new ones because that means they're just going to go back to this, and then I don't want to change these. They're still good. They still feel cool on my hands. So I got some nice well-used Ergon grips. Now moving on to my saddle, which I don't tend to use much really, unless I do a huge case and then I'm like bang, and I got to sit down and I use it then. But this is my Ergon saddle. This is a Pro TI, means I got titanium rails, pretty cool. I've got it set quite far forward only because I don't want this. I like to have a low saddle on the bike. I don't want to have such a high one because I'm a short lad and I don't want that saddle hitting me in the backside. So I've got it set quite low. I've shoved it back because my tire does tend to get a bit hungry on the back of my saddle and eats it. So it looks like Bugs Bunny's been there. I've got a nice Crankbrothers seat post with nice little red anodized bits there. And there you go. Man, if you can hear the tunes pumping down there, it's like a huge party at the Riders Lounge. It's insane. Thank you so much for watching my pro bike. This is my Scott Gambler 720. It's insane. I'm gonna go back out there and hit some huge jumps, do some big backflips for you guys to watch. If you love my bike, give it a massive thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that button to subscribe. If you want to see another pro bike check, click over there. I'll see you in the next one.